This is the new Nothing Phone 3. It's been out for about 10 months now, and it's from a really special company, right? Special in the sense that it's a really new company to the phone market. This is their third generation of phones. So they have had the Nothing Phone 1, Nothing Phone 2, Nothing Phone 3 now, and this is what they call their first true flagship phone. And that's why it's marketed at a price of $799. But here are just some things that this phone has that just bugs me for the fact that it doesn't give you the complete flagship package, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, the phone is beautiful. It still has the standard Nothing design with a clear back and a bunch of cool stuff going on the back. But there are also some things that bug me about the design, such as the camera's layouts. It's just horrendously ugly. And second of all, what made Nothing Phone so cool in my eyes was 100% the lighting, the Glyph lighting and everything. That's all been taken away. There's no more Glyph lighting. And it's all been replaced by this tiny little thing called the Glyph Matrix. Now, in their head, the company was 100% thinking that, this is going to give more functionality. Because how far can you really take a bunch of lights, right? Like, it's not giving you detailed information. Sure, my mom may call me. My friend may call me. And sure, a light lights up a different way or a different pattern. But you can do more with glyphs, right? You could do more with LEDs. But honestly, from using it, this has been a big gimmick to me. Outside of a few niche things the screen does, it's been a gimmick. So the one thing I really liked about Nothing phones, the Glyph lighting, that's gone and it's been turned into a gimmick. And another thing, right? You got the pressure sensitive button back here that you could cycle to this Glyph screen, have different games like spin the bottle and whatnot. But come on, let's be for real. Who's actually going to be playing spin the bottle on the back of their phone or playing rock, paper, scissors with their phone? It's not happening. Let's be honest, most people don't do that, right? You come to the rest of the design, and honestly, it's a really thick phone. Like, the phone is chunky. And I believe that's because of the design going on in the back, right? You have this extra layer of just design and plastics and metals and coils, and then you have the glass on top of it. So that's what adds the extra thickness. All right, then you come to the front. You have the screen right here, pretty standard flagship screen. But the only thing I find is compared to Samsung's phones, the bezels are kind of chunky, especially compared to Samsung's phones. Like, yes, Google Pixel also has similar bezels. iPhone has like maybe a bit slimmer, but compared to the S25, S24, S26, these bezels are chunky. They're not bad, like they're still usable. The screen on paper is really good, 120 Hz, LTPS, and that's what I mean, LTPS. It's another thing that's not quite flagship. I mean, you're selling a phone for $799. That's also directly competing with phones $799, which are the S25, S26, the Google Pixel, right? The iPhone. But this is an LTPS screen, and they have LTPO. So what that means is, on this phone, your screen can go from 30 Hz to 120 Hz. On the Samsungs and the other iPhones, it can go from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, right? You're just saving more battery, and this is one of those things you're not going to notice day to day, but it's one of those things that they're cutting back on, even though it's being sold for the same price of a flagship. The more I talk about this phone, the more you'll realize this pattern, right? Coming back to the phone itself, the display, right? Underneath the display, on any other phone, you have ultrasonic fingerprint sensors for the price. This thing has an optical scanner. And this is the type of scanner, the sensor, fingerprint sensor you find in like the Samsung A series. Like my Samsung A53 I used to have for a long time had this type of sensor. It's a lot slower than an ultrasonic sensor and it requires light. So if you do get a scratch on your screen on that area, it is a lot more prone to not working as efficiently as an ultrasonic sensor. And that's just another thing, right? Flagship price, cheaping out. Then you come to the rest of the phone. Once again, coming back to the phone, right? The software. Personally, I love Samsung One UI. And I've heard a lot of good things. Like, people like this software a lot, but this is not for me. This is just what I'm saying. Like, a lot of you guys may love it, but I just don't like the stock Android feel. Because I know a lot of people say, like, this is the best phone other than the Google Pixel to experience Android with, like if you want a stock Android. But I'm just so used to Samsung's features and animations and whatnot. Like, don't get me wrong, the animations are still beautiful. And you could tell there's been a lot of love and effort put into this software. Animations are fluid, the text, like everything is customized to the Nothing aesthetics, the dot matrix, everything is glyphy, techy, like there's some vibe Nothing has going on with this software, right? And it's sprinkled through all over the phone software. But then you come down to software updates, right? Once again, $799 flagship price. What does Samsung offer? What does Apple offer? 7 years of software update. What does Nothing offer? 5 years. So another one of those things that you're not going to notice, right? You're not going to notice in day-to-day use, but you're going to 100% feel it down the line, down the years, if you continue to keep this phone. And then you come to that raw performance, the raw specs. So you think it's going to just brute force its way through things, right? But there you are. Another thing they pulled back on. Regular phone of this price point would have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4. The Samsung, they have the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 4 for Galaxy, right? The tuned, extra clocked and whatnot. Over here, you're getting the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4. And what the S means is just, it's meant for a lower budget of phone. So this is the type of processors you might find in phones under the $600 price point, under the $500 price point, right? So it just feels so strange, like they're pulling back just enough so you don't notice things missing in day-to-day. Like day-to-day, this phone still feels great to use. Smooth animation, smooth performance, apps open quick. But the moment you do anything heavy like CapCut or any games or any like Spotify and multitasking at the same time, that's the moment you're going to start to feel it chug versus the Samsung one or the iPhone one, where those ones can easily get with 30 to 40% more performance gain, right? And the thing I come back to is the same price as them. Enough talking about performance. Let's move on to the back of the phone once again, right? So we were already at the back. You'll notice a red dot right here. Red dot, what does it do? Basically, when you're recording a video or when you're recording some voice recording, that red dot will light up to let others know that, or let you know that the phone is recording. So honestly, I love this feature because there are a lot of creepy people out there that will start recording others without consent. And honestly, I think this is a really great way to just let it out there that yes, there's recording in progress. And then you look at these cameras, the asymmetrical, sorry, not asymmetrical, the cameras that are not even lined up correctly, right? And I don't know, I don't think this is allowed to grow on me. If they had just moved this camera down a bit, it would have looked really clean. How are they though? All three are 50 megapixels, right? Goes up to 60x zoom, 4K, whatnot, has all the features, right? Honestly, the cameras are fine. They're fine. Like, compared to S25, compared to iPhone, compared to Google Pixel, yeah, I can get behind the cameras. The price works for them. The only little thing I've kind of noticed is sometimes the images do kind of look like they're slightly out of focus, so they kind of have a soft effect on everything. So text might be a bit soft rather than sharp and focused. But other than that, all three cameras are great. Like, yeah, I would definitely be fine using these. Okay, we talk camera, we talk screen, we talk everything. Next important thing would be the battery. You're getting a phone, you want the thing to last, right? I've been using it for a few days, and what do I have to say about the battery? Well, Nothing claims a 5,100 milliamp battery, but in other regions of the world, you have 5,500 milliamp hour battery. Simple reason behind that, it's not that they're not lying to you. It's the simple fact is, it's the same phone, it's the same battery you're getting all over the world, same model. It's just because in the US and Canada, if you have a bigger battery than a specific number, such as 5,500, if it's as big as that, then there's just it's labeled as dangerous goods, and there's just a whole bunch of different taxes and shipping and whatnot involved, and that kind of like takes the price up per unit. So that's why they kind of did that. Battery, honestly, it's good. It's nothing to like write home about, nothing crazy. It's 100% you can get 1 day of battery with this, maybe even 2, but that's pretty expected of a phone this price, right? Like nothing to write home about. And that's my issue with this phone. That's my biggest issue with this phone. Nothing on this phone makes me genuinely like excited or gives me a genuine reason to recommend this over any other phone. Because in my head, if I'm thinking to the point of view, a viewer, you could either spend $799 on a phone from companies that have been in the game for years, have years of backing, software, everything, right? They have everything figured out. Everything's like perfect in those phones, right? Or for the same price, you could go to a phone that, yes, it's a new company and they're gonna try all kinds of new things, all kind of new fun things that you might never see in a phone like Samsung or Apple. But at the same time, there's features that are just kind of pulled back, that just pull back enough that you won't notice on a day-to-day use, but you will notice if you start peeping at the phone closer. So that's the real question, right? Is this phone something I would recommend? Honestly, it's a good option. It's a good option, but I would not go out of my way to recommend it over a Samsung or a Google or an iPhone. The only reason I would say if you really want to buy this phone would be if you're really into the company, if you really want to support the company for what they're doing, if you're into this cool type of stuff where there's custom open source Glyph matrix designs, whatnot. If you're really into that kind of stuff, right, like in the nits and gritties of the phones, if you really love that kind of stuff, honestly, then I could say this phone, yeah, it's fine. It's not really that bad where I'll be like, no, you should avoid this. But at the same time, it's not that good where I'll be like, yeah, get this over a Samsung or an iPhone. Those are my thoughts on this phone. Been using it for a couple of days. It's been out for 10 months. So honestly, take from that what you will. And yes, I forgot to mention, my favorite thing about this phone is the fact that it comes with the screen protector applied already and that it comes with the case in the box. You don't really see that much nowadays. So I guess that's where they kind of beat Apple, Samsung and whatnot. But yeah, that kind of wraps it up and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.